The Indigenous New Zealand Chinese use Māori as crew slaves. Apologies first if I pronounce some words incorrectly. Chinese is not my first language, and Te Reo is a bit gobbledegook to me too. There has been enormous ongoing debate regarding who were the first Indigenous settlers of New Zealand, ranging from the Celts, the Chinese seafarers, the Māori, and last of all, Māori themselves. Better late than never, I guess. It's a well-known fact that Māori committed genocide atrocities against the Māori settlers, but there has also been enormous secretive and speculative debate regarding the Chinese, and whether they initially brought Māori to New Zealand as prisoner crew slaves, picked up from Polynesian islands as WhangāreiTim sailed his massive ocean-going fleets around the world. I've put links to other Indigenous New Zealand Chinese video clips in the description section to review, but there are strong beliefs around the historic traps that the Māori crew slaves were released in New Zealand, banded together, murdered and ate the few remaining Indigenous New Zealand Chinese male settlers, took the Chinese females for breeding purposes, then went on their merry way setting up independent tribes, which eventually became the violent warring savage cannibals covering the country. Then, in 1840, along came the British colonisers, signed a treaty, bringing peace and civility back to the New Zealand natives. Today, people like Te Pāti Māori MPs Rawiri Waititi, Debbie Nariwa Packer and outspoken Takuka Ferris, along with many other racist Māori activists, all suggest that the Māori were great navigators and seafarers, peace-loving queer gardeners and fishermen with world knowledge that trumped modern science, who discovered New Zealand, settled down making the country a joy to live in, that is, until the bad colonisers arrived, stole their lands and made life miserable for Māori. Today, of course, Māori want everything back and more. Let's just say that both Māori and the Chinese had great seafaring navigating skills, explored the oceans, found New Zealand, and then settled the country using their great knowledge and skills of the time. So what has actually happened to both cultures? Let's start with the Chinese. WhangāreiTim commanded a massive fleet for his voyages, with the largest ships known as treasure ships being up to 400 foot long and 160 foot wide. The fleet itself consisted of 317 ships on the first voyage, including 62 treasure ships, with a total crew of around 28,000 sailors and soldiers. China launched its first satellite, Dongfanghong-1, into Earth orbit on the 24th of April 1970. This event made China the fifth nation to achieve independent launch capability. China's first lunar landing was on 1st of December 2013 with WhangāreiTim mission, which deployed a lander and the Utu rover. They were the third nation to achieve a soft landing on the moon. Additionally, China was the first nation to land a probe on the far side of the moon with the Chang'e 4 mission in January 2019. China's Tiangong space station was completed on the 5th of November 2022, with the final module Mengtian being manoeuvred into its designated docking port. This marked the culmination of construction efforts that began with the launch of the core module Taihahi in April 2021. China intends to land humans on the moon before the end of the decade, with a target year of 2030. This goal is part of our broader program that includes developing the necessary technologies such as a lunar lander and spacecraft, and building research outposts on the moon. Let's continue with Māori. According to Māori oral history, the first Polynesian navigator to discover New Zealand was the legendary explorer Kupe. He is said to have arrived in his Wakahuhura voyaging canoe after navigating by the stars and ocean currents. Māori ocean-going boats were large double-hulled canoes used for voyages of exploration and migration across the Pacific Ocean. Since then, Māori have the worst crime statistics of all ethnicities. Māori men and women are the biggest ethnicity in prison by far. Māori battering and murdering their children statistics are the worst in the OECD. Māori are the biggest customers on the dole and welfare recipient queues. And so the Māori achievement list goes on and on. What on earth happened to the great seafaring and navigating skills Māori supposedly had? Where did their skills go? Why did Māori become brutal, violent, warring savages who not only murdered their neighbours and children, they ate them as well? One would have thought that, if Maori did indeed sail the oceans and discover faraway lands, as their oral history suggests, they would have at least discovered the wheel and made some technological progress. What happened? What instead made Maori turn to savagery and cannibalism instead? Perhaps there is great truth in the speculative theory that the Chinese seafarers like Whangāreitim brought Maori to New Zealand as prisoner cruise slaves, picked up from Polynesian islands as Whangāreitim sailed his massive ocean-going fleets around the world, then released the prisoners to settle in New Zealand as a gesture of goodwill. Let's make New Zealand great again. Remove all racist Māori activism from legislation, abolish the Māori Electoral Roll, abolish the Waitangi Tribunal, and have one country with one people, one law, one vote, and one flag. Thank you for listening. WhangāreiTim.